Welcome, everyone, to the town of Willowshore in the year 7108 of the Imperial calendar, roughly 2,500 years ahead of the Absalom Reckoning calendar many of you might be used to. However, unlike most campaigns, our story takes place a little over 100 years in the past, roughly 2 years after the beginning of the Age of Lost Omens, when tragedy struck the world, and the god Eredin died, and prophecy began to fail. Tiansha, Willowshore, and its surroundings suffered much the same fate as the rest of the world. Alongside the death of the god, cataclysms of all manner began to shake. The cursed mists of the eastern wastes began to rise, the elemental isles rose in the western sea, and the shattered mirror of divination failed to work ever again. The seasons have been both brutal on occasion and peaceful to the people of Willowshore as they have done their best to survive the tides of change. And now we find ourselves on the first day of summer, a day that should be filled with peace and joy. Last evening was the Reenactment Festival, a yearly event that takes place in Willowshore where everyone celebrates the coming of summer and attempts to ward off any ghosts from approaching through a variety of rituals. Many of you woke up early in the morning as the parade kicked off at dawn, a colorful parade through downtown, many of the residents adorned in these elaborate costumes reminiscent of the founding of Willowshore, close to 100 years ago at this point. Traditional drums and flutes filled the air, and joy began to spread quite easily. Following the parade, the entirety of downtown, Mercantile Street, and beyond transformed into a massive open marketplace, where almost everyone in town who had spent the last few weeks preparing and creating a variety of themed supplies were peddling them and giving them out, selling them to each other, and all around bringing good cheer. The evening came, and with it, the highlight of the event. A grand feast with long communal tables, flickering lanterns, laughter and chatter around as everyone gathered to celebrate, before the entertainment began. As sun set, those of you who volunteered, or were perhaps voluntold, are abducted, quote unquote. Townsfolk in ghost masks come running in, grab you, dragging you off, trussing you up to take you out as offering, such that the true spirits that live in the Spectre Woods surrounding Willowshore will recognize the town as already being haunted, and will no longer come to make it a place for themselves to play. You all had a good laugh as you found yourselves in a clearing roughly northeast of the town, in the forest, ready to rest, maybe have a few drinks amongst yourselves in the night before waking up to a delicious breakfast that should be provided for you as a treat. The ransom paid to bring you all safely back into town. We begin our story that following morning, right before dawn, when the first of you is waking up. Kuromori, would you describe your character as you are the first to wake up in this clearing?
Yeah, Kuramori is a 20-year-old disciple of Tsukio, the Prince of the Moon. He wears green robes over top of his scale mail armor, and although the portrait does show him with a sword, he doesn't currently have one. He has a spear. He has sort of a messy brown hair, and he has a start of facial hair, as you see in the portrait there. And he has a crescent moon medallion around his neck.
Furthermore, you wake up the familiar chill in the air of a summer Shenmue morning, partially overcast above and relatively crisp breeze surrounding you. You are in the clearing as mist begins to descend, but it looks like it should be yet another beautiful day. Expect that it'll probably warm up over the next few hours, though not hit any unpleasant temperatures today.
All right. Suppose I'll do my morning rites and get my stuff together.
All right. As you
Everything
are.
should be normal.
Mhm. Yeah,
I'm just saying everything should be normal. I have
yeah.
nothing to worry about.
Looks beautifully peaceful out here this morning. Everything is perfectly fine. In fact, nothing goes wrong, and a few minutes later, the next three people follow as you're in the middle of your rites, waking up all around the same time. But we'll begin with Buckthorn, if you wouldn't mind describing your character to the group.
Sure. So Buckthorn is a leshy, like as I said, works at the tea farms that the that service the leshy salon and the tea farms they own. Um, he looks exactly like his picture. He's only a couple feet tall, and kind of has a rooty, thick, woody appearance. And he gets up and really doesn't have much to do when he wakes up. He just sort of the only way like you really notice that he's awake is his eyes open, and he sort of just gets up and stretches and walks around a bit quietly, but doesn't really have anything to do when he gets up. He just goes and stands in the sun to soak it up for a bit. He doesn't have to eat after all.
Fair enough. Gaius, you as well wake up right around the same time as these people. How do you greet the morning?
Basically, with my character, I am Teldorian, so I have like olive skin, dark brown, almost blackish hair. I am fairly older. I am 38, so I kind of am very sluggish to wake up, groaning slight pain just due to not being as young anymore, doing all the travel. Basically, kind of just get up and just look around, seeing what everyone else is doing. I didn't take any like weapons or armor with me.
Okay. Fully expected it to just be a peaceful travel back to the city, so you've got none of your equipment with you. Good to know.
Correct. Yep.
All right. And last but not least, waking up with Buckthorn and Gaius. Cyan, would you describe your character?
Yeah, certainly. So Cyan wakes up, and what's immediately apparent is he looks like an elf or half elf. His hair is jet black, a little kind of disheveled, um, as though he's been kind of not taking care of himself. Um, but the clothes that he's wearing, nothing fancy. He looks like he's wearing some cloak. His weapons that at least the others could immediately perceive are kind of a special kind of bow. Others would recognize them as a gakgong, and he also has a kind of rapier by his side. Um, the one other thing that's kind of conspicuous is that he has like the spin of an eagle on kind of the strap holding his arrows. Uh, and from I think from just living near him, Cyan kind of spots Gaius and knows that he lives kind of two houses over, and just gives like a kind of a nod of the head towards him, like in acknowledgement.
I'll raise my hand, kind of like acknowledgement of just like, oh hey, you know.
Hey, wonder when's our breakfast coming?
we get breakfast from this?
Supposedly, that's supposed to be the ransom of this entire thing.
Okay.
And
Do they
At
do
least-
this often?
No, it's my first time, but I just volunteered for this. At least that's what I heard from previous reenactments.
And you guys would actually, anyone who paid attention when you were sort of given the briefing in advance, would know that you were expecting the miller, Cho Chung Hu, would arrive with breakfast for all of you by sunrise.
Is it well after sunrise at this point?
I wouldn't say well after sunrise. Sun is definitely beginning to filter a bit in through the trees, but it's still decently dark out.
Gotcha. Hearing you two talk, Buckthorn will come up and say, "Well, I'm not hungry, but isn't the miller supposed to come to pick us up, or at least bring us breakfast? If not now, or he should be here soon."
Yeah, hopefully, breakfast, most important meal of the day and all.
Well, if you get too hungry, I can help with that, but won't fill you up for long. He says, kind of like like snapping his fingers. But I suppose we'll just wait to see if he comes or not. Is he an older gentleman?
Uh, the miller. He's middle-aged.
Okay.
Not like an older individual.
Okay.
But you guys definitely, any of you who know him to very much be someone who values sort of the weight his word carries and wouldn't be one to really go back on his promises. So if he's supposed to show up with breakfast, he will. No doubt about that.
Fair enough. What's the weather like? Like, what time of year is it?
It is the first day of summer, so it is partially overcast with a sort of crisp morning chill. You can see a sort of thin layer of mist kind of clings to the grass underfoot. You guys would expect at this time of year that by like mid-morning, noon, it will warm up to being a pretty pleasant temperature, not overbearingly hot, maybe a little over what's the most optimal or comfortable temperature for you.
Gotcha.
But it should be a pretty mild time still.
And Jericho, I guess we were already together the previous night, so we would know each other's names at this point,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, you
Okay.
guys should all recognize each other. Even if you didn't, yesterday might be the first time you met. Willowshore is a relatively small town, population of less than 300, so it's very likely that even if yesterday was your first time meeting, you've definitely seen each other around town before.
And probably likely know each other's names.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. You would see me looking after the Tsukio shrine on a regular basis. I think by this point my rights are done and I gather my equipment. It does say in the guide that we can have bring all of our starting gears and items.
Yep.
And I think just because we are in the middle of the forest and there are dangers in the forest, I would have brought my equipment.
Sounds good. Right around this time, as you're finishing up your rites, gathering your equipment and prepping for the day itself, our last two group members will go ahead and wake up, beginning with Rook. Mind describing your character?
So Rook has been complaining about this the entire time. He was one of the few who was voluntold that he was going to be participating in this Longshanks little ritual, and he has been told to do this every single year for the past however many years it's been, and he thinks it's stupid. So he has made it very clear he is not a big fan of this. So when he sits up, his hair is a little more disheveled than it usually is. It's dirty like it always is. He always seems like he's covered in soot or some kind of dirt, like he's all or grease or something like that. Unlike the other goblins, he actually, he at least thinks he takes care of his appearance quite a bit. So he tends to wear slightly fancier clothes, even though they're always dirty. He has a fairly sinister or cunning look about him. People always tend to think that he looks pretty shifty, but he's more or less congenial with everyone that is in the area. He's done a lot of repair work and stuff like that for various farmers and such. So he's not. No one really suspects of him of any foul play, but he certainly has the look. But he'll sit up and kind of like groan a little bit and say, "Oh, the Rock hates stupid Longshanks games."
Yeah. Yes, we've heard for the past night, Rock, your feelings on the matter.
Is new day. It's time for more words.
They're wonderful words.
I guess I'll say in terms of general attitude, the sense you get from Buckthorn is he's just kind of happy-go-lucky walking around. He doesn't really seem bothered by this. He's kind of a carefree attitude all the time.
Nice. And last, but most certainly not least, Sai, would you please describe your character?
Certainly. Had one question. Are we sleeping like under the stars, or do they give us tents? Or...
You guys did not have any tents with you. At best, you had the sort of straw mats you were trussed up in when you were carried off, which were kind of untied, and maybe some of you used them as beds. Maybe you guys threw them off to the side and just slept on the ground itself.
Okay. So yeah, Sai. If anyone happened to look at him, would appear to be sweating profusely, and just starts awake and looks around wildly for a second, and then seems to come to himself and put his head down and just start mumbling to himself. He wears white and orange and red robes, bits of paper and stuff stuck to it. Those are scroll robes. Though the scrolls are empty right now. And yeah, he looks clean shaven, kind of unruly hair. He's a TN man, very young. And he probably just gets up and is breathing deeply and still mumbling to himself. Off to the side.
Last sleepyhead finally wakes, and we are still without breakfast.
And Sai, you actually brought up an interesting point asking about what people were potentially sleeping in. Did anyone sleep on the reed mats?
I would have absolutely slept on it.
Okay.
Yeah, I would have too.
Yep, same.
Kimberly would have, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know that Buckthorn might have balled it up, but he's being small and not really minding the outdoors very much being what he is. He might have just found some grass to lay in, and it wouldn't really bother him.
Yeah, there's
I
definitely
would
a lot
have-
of that around you.
I would have dragged mine over slightly away before going to sleep, but yeah.
If
That'd be
Buckthorn set his aside, then Rook definitely would have doubled up on his beds.
Then we'll say that you took it because Buckthorn doesn't really care. Like being having like a hard little wooden body, like whether he's laying on a mat or whether he's laying on it doesn't really bother him. So he just kind of lays in some grass. He seemed perfectly comfortable all night.
Okay. Well, I think this is a perfect time to ask for the first roll of the campaign. Could everyone please give me a perception check? Blind.
All right, what does blind mean?
Blind GM roll.
Yep. When you
It's the eyeball with the slash on it.
You can also use the basic action macros, and if you have your token selected, under the exploration tab, you can use the. Actually, it's not under exploration. Under the actions tab, there should be a seek button that you can use.
I clicked the button, but it doesn't seem like it's popping up for you.
Are you selected on your token?
I am not. That would be what.
I like how the roll streak spoiled the rules.
Yeah,
Don't
exactly.
question it.
It's still not rolling for me. I'm not sure what's going on.
Interesting. Is it pulling up any sort of dialogue for you about what you're rolling?
No.
Sure.
I just closed out my action thing, and I'm going to try again, see if that does it.
Just as a heads up to you, Jericho, it's not a big deal.
Yes.
But I noticed it because I was pulling and dragging. I, for some reason, have control over Rook's token.
Oh god,
Aw.
be gentle.
Oh,
I've only got 13 HP.
I set everyone as an owner over Rook, not observer. My bad. That's fixed now.
Oh, so we all could mess with Rook. Okay, that's what that was.
Not
I really
anymore.
was voluntold to do this, jeez.
All right. Well, I'm delighted to say it looks like people are mostly rolling well so far. In fact, we have our first nat 20 of the session already.
Oh,
Nice.
nice.
Rook, you are actually the only person who doesn't notice this pretty quickly, as you're still mostly focused on complaining about the whole song and dance that this is. But the rest of you, as you're sort of going about your morning prep, cleaning up after yourselves, gathering your supplies that maybe you had with you, most of you all notice that the straw mats themselves, and even the red blindfolds that were alongside them, seem to be strangely cruder than you remember them being. Filthier. They're sort of falling apart and covered in dirt that you do not recall being there when you went to sleep last night.
That's strange.
It's certainly strange.
Would I be able to roll like a recall, like knowledge, if I've seen this before, or like this type of thing happening before?
Absolutely, yeah. Go ahead and give me a recall knowledge roll. And anyone who would like to make that roll may.
I'm gonna do that too.
I'll be honest, this is something Rook probably wouldn't even pay attention to anyway, so... Dirty mattresses, you guys are just...
Fair
Yeah,
enough.
Buckthorn notices, but he just doesn't seem to care. Like, he's like, oh, okay. Like, he didn't really care that much about where he was. Like, he's fine with being out in the woods. So he doesn't, like, he's just not like, he's like, oh, that's interesting, I guess.
Something popping up. Nope. I
It
cannot
will not
roll
pop
rec-
up for you if you roll a recall knowledge.
Oh, okay. Only
It'll-
count the first one because I
Only show
I
the
hit it
chat for
twice.
me.
Okay.
Yeah, did it show up mine in
Yes.
yours? Okay.
I've got one from Cyan, Gaius, and just now Kuramori.
Oh, neat.
So, because it'll roll
Yeah, the
something
pat-
and it'll show all of your typical recall knowledge skill modifiers alongside of it. And so if you
I'll
check
abstain from rolling as well.
The Pathfinder module is pretty cool. There's a bunch of rolls that it, like, automatically does hidden and stuff because it's kind of fun. Like, you as a player might not really need to know. It's more if the GM saw it.
Thinking back on if you guys have seen or heard of something like this occurring before, not as far as you can tell. This seems definitely outside of the ordinary for any sort of situation.
Are we still in the same place that we went to sleep last night, like that we were dropped off in?
That's a great question. Go ahead and give me a survival check. This can be
Uh,
public.
Okay, cool.
First public roll of the campaign.
No
Well,
pressure.
I don't roll very well, so
Well,
Also,
here's
would
the
I be
question.
able?
Mhm. who's gonna say something there?
Would I be able to roll perception, see if like the trees look a bit more withered or not as vibrant as before, like with it going to summer, right?
Yes, today is the first day of summer. Yeah, you can give me either a nature or perception check blind for that. Buckthorn, would you like to hero point that roll, or are you okay with keeping it as is?
I'm okay with keeping it as
Okay.
That's fine. Buckthorn looks around and goes, I don't know. Well,
Yeah.
okay.
I mean, as far as you can tell, those are trees.
Yeah.
That's grass you're laying on. Hot dog, probably the same. Either way, it's the forest, so.
Yeah. Lucky for Buckthorn, unlucky for you guys. As long as there's sunlight, he has food. Like, he doesn't need to eat. So, he's not even hungry.
Gaius, taking a look around at the trees, trying to see if anything else seems out of the ordinary or sort of time worn compared to what you remember it being from last night. Everything seems mostly the same. You definitely would recognize that the position of the trees are not exactly the same as you remember them yesterday. In fact, the shape of the clearing is entirely different. Either something horrible has happened to the terrain, or you're somewhere else entirely from where you went to sleep yesterday.
Rook, do they move us in the middle of the night for these? This is my first festival, so I'm not too familiar with how being abducted works as much as you.
Rook looks mildly offended at the insinuation that he's been abducted a number of times, but he kind of looks around a little bit and says, maybe we sleepwalk.
Every one of us.
It's possible.
It's highly
I-
unlikely.
Don't think so.
Wait, are you saying we're somewhere else? Buckthorn looks around.
Rook is going to shrug and say, you think it's more likely that all of us carried away at the same time without waking?
Well,
Yes.
look at our mats. They're all dirtied, and they weren't like this when we went to sleep.
The trees are also not from what they were when we were dropped here.
Definitely strange. And sorry, Jericho, did we have drinks last night?
Probably. How much you drink is entirely up to you, but there were definitely drinks flowing.
Ah,
On this map, where did they take us?
You guys were taken, if you zoom out, all the way northeast. Actually, sorry, not quite over there. It actually would have been more up in this direction, staying on the town side of the Douay.
Okay, so there's no like path up here.
There's a hunting trail that you guys would have been taken down.
Is it still there?
Well,
If we can see it from where we are.
you definitely expect the hunting trail to be sort of at the south end of the clearing you're at. But taking a minute to look around, you do see a trail, but it's on the western end of the clearing.
Could I do a detect
There's a
magic
trail
to
over
s-
here.
Oh, sorry.
I just
Can
say
do-
that. Go ahead.
Can I do a detect magic to see if there's any magical effects around us?
Absolutely. You go ahead and cast Detect Magic, feeling the space around you for any sort of magical energy that you're not already accustomed to. And you do sense the presence of magic.
There's something magical nearby. If you search the area.
Hmm.
Do you know where
Does it-
we are, Sai?
This path comes out of the western side of the clearing, Last night it was the southern side, so I don't know where we are.
Could I perhaps use my hunting lore to see if I recognize the trail?
Absolutely.
This trail compared to, say, the one we came up.
Yeah. I'd say anyone with hunting lore or Willowshore lore could
Oh.
attempt that role if they would like to try and see if they remember the trails
Yeah.
around the town.
I'll do that. Blind?
Nope, this can be public.
All you with your skills.
Right? Rook didn't even notice that his mat was dirty.
I'll try and
Oh wow, this one's really nice compared to the one I have passed.
There you go.
Looking for and paying attention, all three of you quickly realize that listening, sort of breaking through the silence when you really pay attention and everyone gets quiet, you can hear the sound of water moving. But it's to the west of you, not to the east-southeast like you expect it to be. And taking a couple minutes to think about it, you're fairly sure you recognize what trail and clearing you're near. However, it's to the southeast of town, into the woods a decent chunk.
how did we get over the river?
Cyan at this point immediately kind of already prepares his weapon. We've definitely been moved.
Can I?
Yeah, I think we're on the wrong side of the river from where we were last night.
We
Rook
are.
is staring like super suspiciously at his empty bottle.
Can I do a perception to search the area for what I sense the magic from?
I rather if you would give me a religion check. You are a divine caster, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a religion check to see if you can figure it out.
Sure. Nice.
What were you trying to?
I detected magic.
Take a bit
Could
of...
I do tea lore to see if the tea has been poisoned, or?
Sure.
I mean, I don't know.
Dude, that's
Would I be able to aid him in the religion check?
Yeah, absolutely. You could use any of the magical skills that you're trained in. So Arcana, Occultism, Religion, or Nature. If you wanted to roll any of those, you could.
Public
Would
roller
it-
for tea lore.
Would it be
Yes.
possible to use esoteric lore for that?
Esoteric lore, unfortunately, if I recall it all properly, your esoteric lore is very specifically for creatures.
Okay,
And I don't believe you have the discern lore feat, do you?
not yet.
Not yet. Yeah, at the moment, it's not really something you can use to just recall knowledge.
Yeah, that's fair. I'll do occultism to
Sure.
help him out. Public as well, correct?
Yes.
in general. What would you guys say like you're doing? Are you like actively looking around suspiciously, or are you just kind of like?
I'm searching for what I detected. I detected magic earlier, so I'm trying to find the source of that.
Do you look like you're doing that? Like, are you walking around like casting
Yeah.
and stuff? Or okay.
Yeah.
I'd
I'm
be
just-
gathering everyone's water skins and whatever they drank out of last night and trying to sniff them, see if it's poisoned at all.
Ruck is guarding his very religiously.
Buckthorn's just chilling. He's like, I guess we're on the wrong side of town, but oh well.
Cyan's kind of looking at Sai, noticing that he's kind of moving around, kind of following his tracks, since I think he spotted something.
Right. Well, first things first, Sai, taking a look at everyone's drinking supplies, whose you can get a hold of at least. You don't detect anything out of the ordinary. There's no additives laced in them, it seems, or at least remaining in them.
Okay.
Everything seems perfectly normal.
Well, it wasn't the drink that made us not notice anything.
It's fine then.
Gaius, doing your best to aid Kuromori, which is a success, which ups his skill to a 20. You take 10 minutes or so looking around the clearing, trying to get a sense of where this magic is coming from. The first and easiest thing you recognize is that no matter where you move in the clearing, and it's a decently large clearing, probably 50 feet or so wide, you are always detecting the presence of magic, no matter where you move to. And
Hilarious.
it's during that time that you begin to notice that the mist, which when you woke up was a very thin layer just kind of clinging to the ground, has seemed to thicken and grow. Now to the point of almost covering your ankles. And like a soup, it's sort of hard to see the ground underneath it at this point.
That's enough for Buckthorn to go, well, that's weird. And then he kind of, in preparation in case something weird happens, you see him sort of like flex a little bit, and like the bark on his skin grows thicker, and he has a shield in his hand now. Like his hand like almost grows a shield, and then he grips it.
Perhaps we should try to head down the path.
Yes, I don't believe Cho Chung-Hu will find us here.
Probably not. I mean, that's not where we're supposed to be.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm
that's-
sure he would bring us breakfast, but not to here.
At
No.
that, Rook immediately jumps up and says, "No breakfast?"
We'll have to make our own way back.
Think so. And is the mist kind of rising, Jericho, or kind of overtaking us in a way?
Yup. It was pretty slow at first when it was sort of thickening and beginning to rise. It's been probably 15-20 minutes since you woke up, and it didn't really seem to have any... it was pretty slow how it rose. It wasn't until you guys started to realize something was wrong and tried to figure it out that you realized what was happening with the mist. But now it's beginning to rise quicker.
Oh.
We should leave now.
Yeah.
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 Would I be able to roll either something to know like if this is like a creature or a spell?
Yeah, go ahead and give me a recall knowledge roll.
I'm
You
also
are
gonna
targeting
do.
yourself, by the way. Would you mind untargeting yourself and rolling again? It does not show all of your skills if you're targeting yourself.
Oh, oops.
I'm gonna do recall knowledge as well on the mist itself.
Sure.
Kind of whether it's unnatural or just a weather thing, or
Oh, raised shield. Oops.
Can they be making these knowledge checks while we're on the move?
Yeah, Rook is still like entirely oblivious to the danger. He's just kind of waiting for everyone to move along.
Yeah, I would definitely be trying to like walk and like think.
Yep,
Mhm.
same.
Yeah.
As you guys are sort of walking, trying to think back onto what could be sort of this issue being caused, the mist, definitely not natural right now. It's sort of rising too quickly and thickening too much on its own.
Got
But
it.
aside from that, you don't really have enough information to go off of as to what could be causing it. As of right now, there's almost too many possibilities. So you're not entirely certain.
But definitely not natural. I relate that to the
Definitely
party,
odd at
like
the
the
very
group.
least.
Very odd. Yeah, let's just get out of this mist.
Okay.
Let's try to get back to town as quickly as possible.
Did you tell us about your detect magic, or I can't remember?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Perhaps that's why you detect it everywhere. The mist is all around us.
Yes.
Yeah, Well, I would like to get out of the mist. I'm shorter
Yeah,
than the
well-
rest of you.
For sure. Let's follow that trail.
Yeah. As you guys begin making your way towards the path, what exploration actions is everyone taking here?
I am avoiding notice for
Okay.
sure.
Sounds good. For those of you unfamiliar with the system, exploration actions are a variety of things you can sort of consistently be doing when you're not in combat. These can be things like avoiding notice, which is constantly stealthing, seeking, which is making perception checks or investigating. You can also be sort of constantly casting detect magic or shield or another cantrip. You can have your shield raised constantly if you've got one to be prepared. You can also have someone who's scouting ahead to give everyone a bonus to their initiative rolls. Really, it's just sort of general what you think you would be doing, and I'll let you know what action specifically it is.
The gather information one, that's just like talking to people, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, that
I'll
gathering
do-
information is not something you can do right now.
I'm gonna do sense direction.
Yeah, I was going to do the same.
I would like to do identify magic,
Okay,
and I have detect magic as well, if that helps.
perfect.
I'll be staying out of sight as well. Seeing everyone else get all like their hackles up is making Rook paranoid.
So what would you like me to roll on that?
So, identifying magic. Identifying magic is less of a travel exploration action and more like staying and focusing on an item. But
I'm
if you would,
specifically focusing on the miss, so I don't
yeah,
know. Yeah.
I'd say if you want to, you're casting detect magic. If you want to go ahead and give me a either Arcana, Occultism, Religion, or Nature, whichever your best magical skill is, you absolutely may.
Okay.
I'd probably go for a raised shield. Keep
Okay.
my buckler up.
Perfect. I'm still connecting everyone's names to voices. Gaius, what were you doing?
Sense direction.
Sense direction. Perfect. Hit
You
the
want this
wrong
nature
button.
roll public?
Please.
Okay, public.
Oof.
Ouch.
I got no idea.
Kuromori,
And
what are you
then-
doing?
I was raising my buckler.
You're the one raising shield. Thank you very much. No one is keeping an eye on things. Good to know.
I mean,
Wait,
I tried.
I don't have that. I don't have that one. So
I would probably be straggling behind the rest, still
Okay.
within view, but you know,
um,
trying to figure things out.
do we go ahead and roll the sense direction?
Please, yes. Those of you who are sensing direction, please go ahead and do that for me.
I did not mean to click that. I meant to click this. I don't know what keeping an eye on is. Is that like perception? Or like-
Yes, that would be specifically the seek or investigate actions. Seek is actually the in combat action. Investigate is the out of combat exploration action. Or no, God, I can never remember the names. Investigate is just making recall knowledge things as you travel. Search is the out of combat using your perception modifier, and that's looking for like hidden doors, concealed hazards, and so on.
Oh, I can do search if he's doing search sense direction. Then it's the same modifier for me.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah, I just don't have search. So
Well, that's anyone can do those. Is the nice thing. It might
It's
not be
not
on your
showing
character
up.
sheet at the moment. It's not showing up in your basic action.
Yeah,
markers?
yeah, so I have avoid, notice, coerce, decipher writing for Arcana, Occultism.
Yeah, it's not
and
getting you search.
religion.
How weird.
Yeah.
I don't think I have search either.
Yeah, I don't have it too.
Well, you guys,
It's the same. You can
it's the
take
same
my
as
what?
seek.
Yeah.
So you guys can
if
just
you-
use seek.
Yeah. Okay. If you use the roll that I did, it's the same modifier.
Okay, perfect.
I have the same modifier so for it. So whatever that roll is, that can be my seek, search, whatever.
Sure. All right, and those of you trying to avoid notice, go ahead and make those rolls for me as well.
But notice, blind.
Is that just stealth?
Yeah, if you have your token selected and go to your basic action macros, under the exploration tab, you'll have an avoid notice button.
Oh god, I didn't even see those tabs.
Yeah. They used to not have tabs, and quite honestly, I kind of liked it better when there weren't tabs. Okay. Very interesting rolls so far. And then no
Oh,
roll for
no.
you,
Oh,
Mori,
God.
because you are just defending.
Yep.
So, go ahead and their shield raised. Buckthorn.
Yep.
As you guys make your way towards the edge of the clearing with the path leading downhill, you begin to notice that the bushes seem to be rustling on either side of the clearing.
Yeah, so Buckthorn will say, there's movement in the bushes. Look alive, people. Does
Alright.
it? How big do the creatures or whatever it is sound?
Well, the rustling itself, kind of big. You also begin to pretty quickly hear hissing sounds coming from the bushes.
Hissing. I don't know what that means, but careful, everyone.
I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring everyone over to this map.
I like the top, the name of it, Strange Aggression.
Yeah,
Don't
is it too late to
question
check for
why it sounds
traps?
like that.
It's like a little spoiler alert there.
Yeah.
I mean, you hear hissing in the bushes. Like, what do you want me to say? Everything will be fine.
Yeah.
Is everyone
Yes.
happy with their positioning on the map as you approach the?
I would probably be more towards the front, given I
Feel
was
free to move
looking for
yourselves
stuff.
where you would like to be.
I'll put myself here.
Yeah, I guess which bushes were
This
Buck-
way, right?
Yes. So
It's
here, all
here.
around that area.
Yeah.
got it.
Oh, there we go.
So it'll probably be
No, I should have said I had my spear out.
I'm gonna, I guess, for the time being, especially need to be more of a frontliner because I'm the tankiest of this whole party right now. It helps that the kineticist main attribute is Constitution, so I've maxed out my Constitution.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to ask everyone to roll initiative using the skills you were rolling. So Rook and Zayan, please use stealth for initiative. Buckthorn, please use perception. Gaius, please use survival. Sai, please use nature. And Kuromori, just use perception for initiative. So for those of you new to the system, on your character sheets, on the left side of your sheet, under your perception modifier, you should see an initiative and a drop-down menu that you can select the skill you would like to be rolled for initiative.
And is this a public roll or?
Yeah. Yeah, this initiative doesn't need to be blind.
I don't know if it rolled on mine.
It did. I have a macro that will not have initiative rolls populate in chat because otherwise it will take a long time, or at least go through a lot of the chat. But if you guys take a look at the encounter tracker, which you can pull up from the cross swords tab,
oh cool.
Oh, cool.
and you can just
Nice.
right
I rolled a
click that if you
natural
want to pop it
one.
out so you can see chat at the same time. Did someone roll a natural one?
Yeah, I have +7 and I got an 8.
Give yourself a hero point then.
Woohoo!
As per my hero point rules, if you roll a natural 1 for a roll, that is your accepted roll, you regain a hero point.
Oh, I get one too
nice.
because I rolled in that one because I got a 6 and my
Yeah?
modifier's a 5.
Did we
I
start
rolled a
with
2.
Yes, you will
Yes.
start every session with 2.
Oh, nice.
So you'll start every
Some-
session with 2, and any nat 1 you roll that you accept, you'll regain 1. So,
Off to a good start.
off to a good start.
I get half a hero point for that too.
No, unfortunately. You get my condolences. All right. as you guys begin to approach, the hissing sound begins to change. And aside from hissing, it seems to morph into voices. As crawling out of the bush is a massive centipede creature.
Ooh, gross.
But those of you close to it don't quite hear hisses at the moment. You hear meat, flesh, bones. As it is going to use its first action to approach you, Buckthorn, and
Sure.
then make 2 mandible strikes against you for its first turn.
All right.
So,
Like a prince.
the first hit of the game will
Yep.
be 5 points of piercing damage to you.
Yep. So I'll hit the damage button in the chat, right?
That is exactly what to do. And we'll all get a little notice that you took damage. As the mandibles pierce through your bark, you begin to feel venom pump into whatever counts for your veins. I don't know.
Yeah. Fortitude save.
I will need a fortitude save, please. And I've given you a button in chat that you can just click.
Oh no, you're sap.
You are perfectly fine. You are too strong for this venom to have any real sort of...
That is my
lasting
best
impact on you.
save.
But seeing that, the centipede will then continue whispering out, fingers, hair, eyes. And it's going to make another mandible strike against you.
Yep.
But this one will not hit, thankfully, managing to just simply bounce off of your bark. Unfortunately, that is not the only giant centipede here.
Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah, one more will be in crawling
Oh,
out of the
no.
bushes.
Oh, they have high initiatives. Dang.
This one
Oh.
seemingly calling for your skin and your nails. As it is going to
I'm in danger.
crawl right here with its first action and make a mandible strike against you, Kuramori,
As you wouldn't.
for 3 points of damage to you. And I will need a fortitude save from you as well, please. That is an exact success for you. Very nicely done. And from there, now we get into my favorite part. I will be rolling randomly a chunk of the time to determine who gets attacked, so you guys can't call me out on trying to kill someone. You can
Fair
just blame
enough.
my dice. So,
That's fair.
the third action of this centipede will be attacking you again, Kuramori. And
No.
this one will also miss. Hey, that's my first now one.
I told him no and it worked.
Cyan, you're up.
Alright. First combat. I am going to recall knowledge
Okay.
on this one and try to identify it first.
Sure.
What creatures is, yeah.
Go for it. Yeah, these are relatively common creatures to the region. These are giant centipedes. Tend to nest in small groups, typically hunting alone as far as you're aware, actually. There are some tribes of like goblins, kobolds, and mitflits that attempt to domesticate giant centipedes. Typically, though, that ends quite poorly. Also considered somewhat of a delicacy if they're roasted and eaten.
Alright. Not that you guys should know, but these are giant centipedes and they're a delicacy.
And it will be off guard to your attack, I believe.
Correct.
Because you are a
Nice.
mastermind.
Yes. And I will strike with my gun.
Sure.
I think I've targeted it.
That will hit. Go ahead and roll your damage. All right, getting
6.
sneak attack damage for 6 points of damage on the first centipede. Very, very nice.
All right, and then so that's yeah. I'm just gonna strike again.
Go for it. That is yet another hit. Well done.
Oh, it says I still have sneak attack. Is that right?
Yeah. In
Oh, nice.
Pathfinder, as long as a target is off guard to you, you get sneak attack on it.
Oh, awesome.
It's the
Ni-
getting off guard on an enemy that can be problematic on occasion. 9 points of damage.
9 points to that one, and that should end my
Yeah.
turn.
The centipede immediately looks pretty heavily injured as the 2 arrows sink into it, and it turns its little beady eyes towards you. Oh,
Doesn't make-
fingers. That will bring us to the 3rd centipede hiding in the bushes. I promise it's the last one.
Totally believe you.
Why do I get the distinct impression you don't? Hold up. This centipede is going to come crawling out over to here.
Oof.
No.
Is going to make its first attack against you, Kuramori. So you are off guard because you are being flanked by 2
Yep.
centipedes right now.
Yeah.
But that'll
Not
auto-calculate
liking
in the
that.
system. Just a regular hit against you. Because your buckler was raised, it does not crit.
Nice.
So, well done on that defend action. That is only going to be 3 points of piercing damage to you.
All right.
And I will need 1 more fortitude save from you. That is
Sounds like hero
unfortunately a
point that.
failure. Go for it. Much better. You're feeling fine.
I saw that 3.
Its follow-up attack is going to turn, hearing its brethren call out for Zion's fingers, is going to make a bite at you. That is not the one I want to hit. Just like that. And it misses without any real drama. Gaius, you're up.
Choices on which one to go for.
There's so many.
The ugly one.
I will go ahead and I'm going to target this bottom one
Okay.
for exploit vulnerability.
Sure. And you should actually have a macro directly on your hotbar for that.
Yeah, it just gave me a roll on that. I don't know if it rolled because it's not in the chat.
Did it give you a roll option?
No, it just said that I must target something. I don't know, I have it targeted.
Oh, that might be slightly broken. Thought they fixed
Hold on.
that. Give me half a moment here.
Did something roll on your end?
Targeting, checking that. Are you selected on your token?
Yes.
And it's not giving you any option for it. That is very odd.
Oh, there we go.
Got it?
Yep.
Perfect. There we go. That's a success. You would immediately be aware that giant centipedes, as is, do not have any weaknesses.
Okay, so then will be the personal antithesis.
Sure.
Right. Then I will go after. And. Oh, that's the wrong one.
So you will not get bonus damage, by the way, unless you are specifically targeting
Correct.
this one, unless you're using mortal weakness.
Yes.
Okay, just making sure
I'm
you got
just-
that.
Just gonna go up to here to make this one off guard.
Okay.
And then let me turn that off real quick.
It's like we're playing a cursed game of checkers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Everyone hit those diagonals.
So it shows that it's not selected on it. So let's see if this does it correctly. Then I will. When was it Buckthorn that alerted everyone?
Yeah, I was the one that was like looking for them and said, "Hear hissing and movement."
I would have drawn my sword then.
Sure.
I will strike the centipede.
Yeah, you guys would have had enough warning that everyone could have had their weapons drawn and ready. And because you are flanking, that is absolutely a hit.
All right. And it's single-handed.
Okay.
So for 5.
5 points of damage. That is going to be enough to lop off a few more legs of the centipede, and at that point it seems to bleed out with a screeching sound as it collapses down into the fog on the ground. That will bring us not to Rook's turn. I lied.
Of
Oh,
course.
There's a fourth
Also,
centipede.
also, on a quick side note,
Mhm.
would my familiar just follow me around, or would it stay in that?
I am assuming for the most part, unless you guys choose otherwise, that your familiar can just be sharing your space. Like they're on your shoulder, wrapped around your arm, however you would like it.
Yeah. Okay.
But they will not do anything like move unless you actually command them. Otherwise, they'll just stick with you.
All right.
I
I,
don't think it
just
would
wanted
be-
to make sure on that.
I don't think it would make a whole lot of sense if they were like curled on your shoulder and you walk away in combat and they just kind of stay there in the air, like they're lagging.
Yeah.
That'd be real awkward. So, let's see. I'm realizing I did not put your familiar's name on its token. Fix that real quick. There you go.
Thank you.
The centipede, who does it wish to go after here? Because it's got a couple targets. Gaius it is. Kind of squiggling through the undergrowth. It's not really smart enough to know that flanking will make it better at this, so it's just going to come the closest possible route to you and then make some bite attacks. Ooh! That is unfortunately going to be a crit against you because you did not bring your armor out on this expedition.
Correct. Yep.
So that is going to end up only being 4 damage. That's a good min roll.
Okay.
Oof.
I'll take that.
You know,
I feel like you lucked out.
That's not the crits I'm used to.
I have unfortunately had a situation where I crit someone for 1 damage before, so
Uh,
I have traumatized him. I'm sorry.
however,
Yeah.
you were crit, you are going to be subjected to the centipede's venom, so I will need a save from you against that.
Good thing I'm decent at those.
You never call that out.
You could use a hero
Not better.
point.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Oh, wrong button. There we go. Use a hero point for
Sounds
that.
good.
Then I'll just click on that again. Even worse.
Yeah, and if you want to hero point something in the future and have it automated, if you right-click on your roll in chat, you'll get a couple options, and one of them is to re-roll using a hero point.
Oh.
And that
Okay.
will automatically subtract one from your character sheet and re-roll it and keep the new result. A failure, unfortunately, is going to deal an additional 5 points of poison damage to you as you feel it begin coursing through your veins, burning away some of the blood within you.
I will speak in my native tongue, and all you hear is merda.
All right. Unfortunately, you are its only target, so it is going to take its third action as a strike against you.
Yeah, that's fine.
That is
It's
going to be a regular hit here for 3 damage.
Ooh.
Now, you are already affected by giant centipede venom, so you are not going to have to make another save against it, right?
Whew.
So that will bring us to Rook's turn.
All right, I guess fleeing is not an option here, so
I mean, it
let's.
is.
No, I'm not gonna do
Hope you've got another character prepared.
that. Oh, should I move my familiar with me? I don't know. Yeah. I'll just do
You
that.
should, yes.
All right, I'm going to cast Evil Eye on.
All right.
Do I click their token, or do I just tell you which one I'm casting it
If
on?
you hover over it and hit T, it'll target them.
Ah, right.
Or you can double
Yeah.
left click and it'll
Yes.
target.
Oh, okay.
You can also double left click to target. I forget players have that option. The GM does not.
It's nice as a player.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to do the entire thing.
Nope, that's exactly what you should do. That is perfect. Because that gives me a button in the chat to directly roll the will save on.
Oh, okay.
So, there is no negative conditions affecting any creatures near you unless you would like to prolong the poison on Gaius. But he is not within 15 feet of your familiar either.
Well, I think that's just the familiar itself. The spell gives them sickened 1.
Yes, the familiar ability lets you, when you cast it, prolong a condition that on some.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't want to make him
negative
more sick.
condition is the poison.
No, I'm not that much of a jerk.
Are you sure?
Suddenly.
Let's see. So the centipede that you targeted will go ahead and roll its save, and will roll an exact success, unfortunately.
All right,
So
and
it
then
will be entirely unaffected by your evil eye.
Then I will also cast Daze.
Okay. I don't believe you have the actions for days, since you used one action to move and a second action to evil.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. I did move.
No worries.
So I have one action left.
Mhm.
All right, I'll just raise my shield.
There you go. And you can go ahead and drag that spell effect shield onto your token, and it'll give it to you.
Like that.
Ooh. Onto yourself, not your familiar.
Oh God,
Protect the familiar.
my familiar's already trying to kill me.
Protect the bird.
Report.
I don't know how to take it off my familiar.
When you are selected on a token, on the top right of your screen, right next to the tabs in Foundry, you should actually see the effects up there. And if you right-click any of those effects, it gets rid of it.
Gotcha. All right, sorry guys, I will get this.
No worries.
No,
Learning
yeah, no
experience
No
for
worries.
everyone.
Yep.
Everyone's got to get used to a new character, so I'm always a big proponent of taking the first few sessions slow, so everyone can lean into it and figure things out without feeling pressured. Kuromori, you're up. At the top of your turn, your shield will no longer be raised.
Yep. All right. By the Prince of the Moon, it's not Gallius' time to die, and I will do a 2-action heal on him.
All right.
I forgot we have a cleric too.
That'll be 13 health back to you guys.
Oh, thank goodness.
No one's risking death today yet.
Grazie.
And I will, with my spear, attack the one right next to me.
Sure.
For my final action.
Go for it. Uh-oh.
Ooh, baby.
Nice.
Sounds like a nat 20. Go ahead and roll that critical
Yeah.
damage.
Let's go. Why was that 10?
Very nice.
The damage.
Why was
Not
that?
quite enough
No.
to kill the centipede, but it's looking pretty rough.
I don't know why that was 10. It shouldn't be.
What, the d10 on the spear?
Yeah, it should be a D8.
It might have fatal damage, right?
No, spears don't
No.
have fatal, because they would also
Oh.
then do another d10 on top of that. That is very weird why it did that. Perhaps... Let's see. I do not know why it upped. It had the base die as a d8, probably because when we imported it, it had it set as a large weapon for some reason.
Right.
So that would have made the damage a d8 as well, and I just forgot to change that. I will leave it up to you if you want to keep that 16 or re-roll critical damage. They just fixed it down to the d8 it's supposed to be.
I'll reroll it.
Okay.
Try to keep it correct.
Sure.
There we go. That was
Appreciate that. Even better. I should not have allowed that, because that is exactly enough to kill that centipede.
Very nice.
One strike.
Yeah. All right, and that, folks, is why you pressure your GMs when they make a mistake to fix it. Reroll.
First attack, not 20, baby.
All
Spears,
right.
the best weapon.
Sai, you're up. There's only 2 centipedes remain already.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I'll just target the closest one with ignition.
Sure.
So
Oh, that's gonna hit. And roll that damage. Full 5 points of fire. Very nice. Burn the filth.
yeah, and then I'll move here.
All right, get in the middle, get some protection. And I apologize, I forgot this. Gaius, do you remember how much health you were at before you received that healing?
It was.
You'd taken 9 total at that point.
It would have been 5.
Okay. Would you mind reducing your health by 3, please, as
Sure.
you do not gain the full benefits of the healing magic right now?
Uh-oh.
And I think any of you would notice when that occurs, those of you who have been injured so far, your blood seems to be flowing out of your body faster than you're used to it from wounds. And it seems to be mixing with the fog.
Is that true even if you made the save against it?
This isn't whether you're poisoned or not. This is
Okay.
simply if you've taken damage and are bleeding. Buckthorn, I don't know if you bleed.
I don't know. I probably doesn't like. There's maybe some sap welling around it, but it's not really thin like blood.
Right. That would not really be mixing with the fog. But those of you who can bleed, and the blood from the centipedes itself have begun to flow from your wounds and then discorporate amongst the fog, beginning to turn the space around you into a sea of red. Buckthorn, you're up.
So maybe it'll let me see, but would a 30-foot cone, if I originated it here, also hit this thing?
It should. Cones, you have to, unless they have a range, they will originate from a corner of your space.
Okay. So I'm going to use Hail of Splinters.
Okay. Very nice.
How do I rotate it?
So, do you have the template up?
Yeah,
If you hold Control and use the scroll wheel on your mouse, that'll rotate it.
perfect. I was like, I know mouse wheel.
Yeah.
So
And then if you wouldn't
Buckthorn.
mind putting the ability in chat when you get the moment as well. When you use it.
Yeah. So here we go. So this consumes my gate for a moment because it's an overflow action. So it consumes channel elements, and I get 1 temporary hit point because of that, because it's a 2-action thing. And then it's a 30-foot. I like sweep my arm that doesn't have the shield in it,
Awesome.
and shoot out a spray of splinters of wood.
Very nice. Yeah, so that'll get all of them. They'll both have to give a reflex save here.
Yep.
The one closest to you will fail its save. And the one further away will also fail, so they'll both take full damage here.
And then for my final action, I'm going to raise my shield.
All right. Would you like to roll the damage for that hail of splinters?
Oh, I click on it in the chat, right? That's how I do it.
You should see the 1d4 piercing plus 1d4 bleed has an actual button there. Perfect. And
Why did
then
it
even
only
gives
rule? Oh,
you
that's
the
right.
Effect for your injunction.
Yep.
And you can just drag that right onto yourself.
Cool.
Bang, boom.
Not good, but they do have bleed on them,
They
so
do
there's
have
persistent.
bleed.
And then I'll just go. I can go in and hit. Do I have to put like I have the shield and
Nope.
I would have had it already drawn
Yeah,
at this
if
point.
you have
So
in your basic action macros, there's a raise a shield toggle.
gotcha. Here it
And you
is.
can just do that, yeah. And the effect Wood Impulse Junction in that damage roll, you can drag that onto your character as well, and it should give you the temp HP. And that'll run out at the start of your next turn as well. It automates so much. It's so nice.
Nice. Yep. So I have given myself some temp HP, hit both of them, and raise my shield. That's my action.
Very nice. And that will actually directly bring us back to this centipede's turn. And it is gonna just keep attacking you to start, Buckthorn.
That's fair.
Wants your sap, and it's gonna get it.
So I'm going to use my shield block
Sure.
reaction. So that takes damage from my shield, right?
Yep.
So if I click the block button in
Hit
chat,
block
right?
and then hit damage. And ta-da! Nothing is done there because you had just enough hardness to prevent that. Alright, it is... And since you took no damage, you do not have to make a save versus the Venom. It's going to try one more time to bite you, I think. Which definitely will not hit with a nat 1. So seeing that... It's actually going to slither past you and head towards Rook.
Lame.
Simon, you're up. He will take 3 bleed damage at the end of his turn and not recover from it.
Yeah, persistent damage. Suck it.
We love some good old persistent damage.
All right. I am seeing that that centipede approached Rook and looks a little hurt. I am gonna recall knowledge on it and try to see what's its most kind of notable offensive ability.
Absolutely. You don't want to learn its fashion sense?
Nope, not for now.
Fingers.
I mean, they're centipedes. Aside from the mandibles, you're not really sure if they have any other, like, really notable offensive capabilities.
Got it. And I'm guessing that's a failure.
Yeah. It will not be off guard to you.
That's fine. I'm just gonna strike it then.
Alright. Oh man, that ability is gonna... I'm gonna have to tell you if I'm lying to you. That's so sad.
Yep.
Unless I
I
want
don't know.
to break the game and give you off guard for a crit failed recall knowledge. That's so me.
If it's not off guard, then I know you gave me wrong info.
Lying is my favorite thing to do when people roll bad recall knowledge. How could you do this to me? That is an exact hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
Because he's a mastermind.
I hate this. Mastermind Rogues officially
Oh,
banned
gosh.
in all future
Ew.
games I run.
Oh no.
You can't not lie to people.
Have to get used to it. Yeah, I'll be spamming recall knowledge.
Oh, no.
I am gonna strike again.
Alright. I think I might actually just lie to you and still give you off guard anyways, because that'll be objectively the funniest option. That will not hit, I'm so sorry.
That's fine. I am. Yeah, I'm not even gonna reroll that. It's the end of my turn.
Alright. Gaius, that brings us to you.
All right. So I'm going to exploit vulnerability on the one closest to Rook.
Alright.
Oops.
That will fail, but
Nope.
you still get personal antithesis.
Time to see if it randomly has an attack of opportunity.
Are you sure you want to move there?
Yes.
Yeah, it doesn't have a reactive strike. You're good. It's a centipede.
Okay. You never know.
If
You
a centipede
never
has a
know.
reactive strike, I'm gonna cry. There's something wrong with that.
I already
And then
cast spell
I
this one.
will go ahead and strike it.
Go for it. That sounds like a hit to me.
Ooh, nice.
Same.
Nice.
Ooh. Yeah, that's a Gaius the Centipede Killer coming in hot. Killed 2 of them already. Yikes. That will bring us to this centipede's turn, and this was the one that bit and poisoned you, Gaius, so I am actually going to need you to give me another save versus potentially hitting stage 2.
All right.
Yeah, you're fine. You go back down to stage 0.
Oh
The
wait,
engine 2
hold
shut
on.
off. Oh, that's your
Hold on.
that's your dragon.
That is my familiar.
I
Yeah, that I
believe
clicked on me.
it has the same save as you do, though. So you are all.
Oh yeah, it is. It is +7.
Yeah, familiars share the master saves. So we'll just consider that your roll, and you are perfectly fine. You managed to overcome the poison, sort of forcing it out of your system. That will bring us to the centipede's turn.
I'll quickly be right back.
Yeah. If you ever need to take a break, actually, I'll do it when he comes back.
Come on, you know you want to attack me? I just hit you with splinters.
I mean, if you insist. There's one thing you should learn about gaming with me. Never
I feel like
for
I'm
it.
the tankiest right now. I've got a 20 AC and my shield.
Never ask for it when I'm around, because it won't end well for you. You got lucky. Trust me. I promise. Things will get worse for you eventually.
Yeah.
Don't keep testing your luck. All right, Rook, you're up.
I mean,
You
at
would
this
think
point, I might as well
Rook
just
would
like
as well.
light a cigar. I will attempt. So, if I cast a focus spell and it fails, do I retain the focus point, or is
No.
it spent?
It's like casting a spell on a slot. You use the spell, you use the focus point upon casting it.
All right, then I will cast. There we go. Daze.
All right. And we'll go ahead and give him his will save, which he will crit fail. So that is going to be double damage because it's a basic save. So go ahead and roll damage. That's a good roll. He'll take 10 damage there. And because he crit failed, he'll be stunned 1 and lose an action. Granted, if y'all let it get to that centipede's next turn, we gotta have a conversation.
Oh, nice.
And that'll be my turn.
All right, nothing you want to do with your third action?
Nah, I don't have anything I can really do at this point.
Sounds good. You can always cast shield. You can always
right.
cast shield.
Okay.
That +1 to AC is really important sometimes. You never know. I will drop enemies in randomly behind you.
Noted.
Kutamori, you're up.
Sure. Is this difficult terrain? Because it's bush, or
No,
is that the
not
tree
really.
above?
It's
Okay.
yeah, there's bush on the ground and then foliage from the tree up ahead, but it's not really enough to impede your movement.
I'll go to here and strike him with my spear.
Sounds good. That's absolutely a hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
Oh. No.
5 points of damage. Very, very nice. I believe that will be enough to put an end to the centipede. The voices and the hissing ends. However, the blood still continues to pour out into the fog around you.
Are we out of initiative?
We are out of initiative, and as we end initiative there, that's where we're going to go ahead and take a quick break for tonight.
Cool.
So everyone feel free to stand up, stretch, get some water, do what you need to do, and we'll reconvene in 3 or 4 minutes or so.
So when the fight ends, Buckthorn's going to run up between Gaius and Kuramori, and in both hands he's going to hold out his hands, and a big fat juicy berry is going to grow out of each hand, and he'll handing them to each of you. He'll say, "Eat, eat,"
Oh, thank you.
and yeah, fresh produce.
All right, go ahead and roll
I
that
will-
level HP button.
So that's for Kuramori. Here's for Gaius.
Rook looks mildly disgusted at this little exchange, but doesn't say anything.
Look, it's just
I'm
a
gonna
berry.
use my focus spell.
Is
Okay.
it full healing for me?
And I'm gonna tell those three in a line to hold still.
It is not full healing. It is going to be -3 to the amount healed.
So it just nullifies what I did for him then.
For now,
All right, I'll
But
take 3 off.
do I still get that effect though?
yes.
And question, Jericho, the voices earlier from the centipedes, was that like mental or verbal? Did we all hear it?
It was verbal. They
verbal.
were talking.
Is that normal or not normal for those?
Yeah, exactly. Is that normal? Can we do recall knowledge?
Yeah,
of
give
that
me a
one?
recall knowledge check, but I'll give you a guess if you think it's normal or not.
Yep.
Look, I don't think so, because that healing was 2. We basically don't get it.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to my
However,
own.
one of
my
you
own fruit.
that triggers my blood magic.
Yep.
Also, all of you gain +1 status bonus to fort saves for a minute. That's the spell effect. You can drag it onto yourself, I believe. The rejuvenating flames.
And
Cool.
and then would I be able to roll esoteric to see if these creatures were normal for giant centipedes in the area?
So your esoteric lore is realistically, at this point in time, only really useful for figuring out creatures' weaknesses and resistances, I believe.
Gotcha. Okay.
Without discern lore, I don't believe it can really be used for anything else. Yes, it's. I mean, I guess it's. You could use it here. It's specifically for haunts, curses, and creatures of any type. So I'd allow using it here as your recall knowledge skill.
Are we
Just go
able
to
to?
religion? Would religion work for that as well?
Yeah, I'm looking. Oh, sorry, that should be blind. Recall knowledge will always be blind. That is my bad. Religion would work, but you can also just use the recall knowledge macro that's got religion in it.
Okay.
Let's see.
Are we able to gain temporary hit points?
You do, but they only last for a round, so they'll just
This
vanish.
mine does anyway, but it tells us we can get temporary hit points.
Yep, you would gain them, but they'll vanish 6 seconds later. So up to you guys if you want to grab the effect or not.
Gotta wait for the results.
All right. And one thing I did want to say as we are coming back from break, as a quick reminder, little thing. On the left side of Foundry, in all those tools, you should see one that looks like an open door. But if you hover, it says step away for a minute. If you ever need to get up and go do something real quick, you can just click that button. And
Oh, cool.
it'll put a notice in chat that you're stepping away and a little icon in the bottom left. And then just hit it when you come back, and I'll know you're back in the game.
Nice. So we don't need to announce.
Yeah. You can just say you're stepping away, and I'll know not to call on you during that time.
Right on.
All right. I clicked the recall knowledge.
Yep.
I think. Yep.
Yes, you did. Yeah, now I'm going to get into all of that. Cyan and Kuromori, looking at centipedes. Yeah, it's not normal for them to be talking. Are you kidding me? They're centipedes. Centipedes don't talk. No way, man. However, Cyan, you've gotten a little bit more than that. You would be aware, based off of like creature ecology, that one, giant centipedes, while they live in nests, would typically hunt on their own, and it's also, they do have that sort of innate intelligence of a beast or insect that, when facing foes that are bigger and stronger than them, especially during daylight hours, it's extraordinarily odd that they would not have fled immediately, but would instead have been the aggressors in this situation. Something is afoot with this, to be sure.
So, guys, first things first, centipedes don't speak. They just did. And they usually hunt on their own, so it was strange that they've gathered all at once here. And usually they're scared of threats larger than them.
Well, something unnatural's definitely going on. I mean, look at that red mist, and he just like points at the mist. That's not normal. Buckthorn knows that without really even knowing magic. Like, mist isn't red.
Definitely not normal.
I say
Gaius.
we try to get to the river.
Yes.
Gaius, with your role, you're pretty certain that these centipedes were being influenced in some way by an evil spirit. What spirit that is and exactly how it was influencing them, you're not certain. But there's definitely some sort of influence here.
I think I know why they were talking. It seems that something was influencing them. I don't know what.
Well,
You think they're possessed?
Possibly, or enhanced.
When Rook hears possessed, would it be possible to make an occult roll to like investigate these things to see if you can sense magic on them for anything specific?
Absolutely. Go ahead and use that recall knowledge button. The typical skills that pop up in recall knowledge are arcana, crafting, medicine, nature, occultism, religion, society, and any of your lore skills as well. It will not pop up in chat for you. It'll only show up for me when you use that macro. So your guys' chat does not get bogged down with lots of information that you can't
Gotcha.
see.
Did that work, or did I?
Yep, I
Oh.
can see it. And I'll give you guys, I'll actually do a quick little screenshot. I think I'll send you guys a picture of what it looks like, just so you guys know what I'm looking at. But taking a look at these corpses, Rook, it's hard to say. You definitely sort of catch the same feeling and information that Gaius does, that they're being influenced in some way, but it doesn't necessarily seem like a direct enchantment has been placed on these, more so that something is exerting its influence over them.
Okay. Rook will stand up and kind of shake his head and say, "Is a little confusing. These creatures don't seem to be acting entirely of their own volition."
well, I don't know that we should hang around to find out. Let's just go to the river.
I agree.
At least there, it's more open. Things can't sneak up on us.
Yeah.
My exploration
Take one to
activity
eat.
is going to be refocus.
Okay. Yeah, if you guys wanted to, you could also take like a 10-minute rest for anyone who needs to refocus and things like that. If someone wanted to treat wounds on someone, they could do that here.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and refocus up.
Does
Alright.
the fog seem to be thickening with the blood?
Give me a perception check. Blind, please. It's
curious about
hard
that,
to
too.
tell. The fog is constantly thickening and rising at the same time. It's hard to tell if that is an influence of your guys' blood or just whatever this effect is. However, you do notice it's getting far too red for just what the meager amounts of blood you all have spilled could provide it.
Oh no.
And those who were healed, do they recognize that kind of they were not healing as much as they should?
Yeah, that's something it's more so the people who are doing the healing would recognize that.
Oh, I see.
It should be healing. You should be seeing more of an effect based off of what you're used to. But it's almost that the blood that's flowing out of these injuries is keeping them open, is refusing to let them fully close.
So we're taking a 10-minute refocus break here, though.
If possible.
Okay.
Do you think it's safe to do so?
Well, it's up
I
to
mean,
you guys.
sorcerers don't have to do anything specific, so they can do it while they're moving. But as far as I know, anyway.
Refocusing on its own does require you to do something. Aside from, it's not really something you can just do while traveling. How your refocus manifests is up to you, since it doesn't have to be anything really in particular. But it's not really a travel
I thought.
action.
Okay, I thought sorcerers just because it's in their blood, they just recharge normally.
No. You still
Well, if you want to
you gotta
wait
put
for the
some
focus,
effort
that makes
in.
sense.
I'm gonna scan around just to check whether there are kind of impending threats in the area. That's
I mean, if we want to go, I'll just not refocus. That's fine.
I would personally like to refocus just because if they fight anything else, that ability he has is going to help a bit.
Okay, then
Right.
let's stay.
Then
Yeah.
I'll treat wounds on myself to try and get myself up.
Sure.
And
So-
after the 10 minutes is up, I can give you everybody produce again because you're only resistant for 10 minutes.
Ew.
More body berries.
it's healthy.
Ooh, that was close.
10 health back to you, Kuramori. Even with the -3, I believe that'll fully heal you.
Yes, it will.
Perfect. Very nice.
Well, then I'll
Nah.
just give them to Gaius and myself.
Sure.
That also gives us information that
That's for me.
Okay.
I don't get anything back.
non-magical healing is also affected.
There's for Gaius, so you get
Alright.
2 back, Gaius.
Guys, you can go ahead and heal 2.
And take the effect in case we're ambushed in the next 10 minutes because you do get
So,
resistance to void damage.
so did I notice that it wasn't fully effective, even though it brought me to full hit points?
Yeah, it really manifested in the sense that when you were stitching some of the wounds closed, there was almost a physical resistance. You could feel your blood sort of pumping out, almost like your heartbeat was forcing it out of your body, and that was sort of preventing the skin from being stitched together. Once you got the first few stitches in, the blood would kind of push past it and maybe break the thread a little bit. But eventually,
Jesus.
with tenacity and a little bit of force, you were able to fully close them to the point that no more blood was leaking out.
Right on.
I do not like
Let
this
everyone know
mist.
this. It's affecting non-magical healing as well. We need to get out of this.
Well, then let's go. The trail should take us to the river.
Real quick, Cyan, you wished to make a perception check while everyone was refocusing and healing, correct?
Yep,
If
just
you would like to do
for
that for me, you may. Blind, please.
any threats.
Yeah. I wouldn't throw another threat at you so soon.
I don't know if I believe you.
To be safe.
That's a good mindset to have. You do not notice any other threats in the forest. It does seem at this point once more quiet aside from the sounds of your own breathing, but even the fog almost feels like it's beginning to mute that sound. By the time
Got
you
it.
guys finish this 10-minute sort of rest, those of you who are sitting, the fog is almost up to your neck. Those of you standing, definitely sort of up at your waist at this point. It's rising relatively fast.
So it's like at the top of my head because I'm only like 3 feet tall.
Yeah. You are submerged.
I don't want to be in this mist anymore, everyone. I think we should go.
I will pick him up.
Okay.
So
And as we're moving away, I'm just gonna try to recall knowledge about that weird healing thing. Based on kind of my uncle's expertise. See if I
Absolutely.
recall anything.
Wait, who picked me up though? I wanted to have voices. I haven't.
that was Gaius.
Okay,
And then
cool.
I'm gonna sheath my sword and kind of put you on my shoulders.
Fair enough.
Dragon will kind of like move around, give you space.
This is not something that's ever been an issue in town before, Cyan. It's not anything that you or... Sorry, Dr. Dummy, father or grandfather?
Uncle.
Uncle. Of course, it's the one thing I didn't guess. How could I get that so wrong? It is not something either of you have ever come across before.
All right. Don't recognize this affliction. Let's just move.
Yeah, the water should be that way. And he points, like, the trail is basically leading towards the river, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you begin heading downhill towards the river, and when you're heading downhill, you realize that the fog, you guys were up on a hill, so the fog was creeping up towards you, so to head down, you have to fully submerge yourself in this fog.
Well, when that happens, I'll just say, well, you can put me down. It's not like it helps anymore, but thank you.
I am
No
concerned about the village.
Well, yeah,
As-
I wonder if it's on that side of the river.
If we're submerged in the fog, could we still see each other's shapes, or is it
Yes. So,
okay?
realistically, you can actually see each other pretty clearly. It's not extraordinarily difficult. It's about 500 feet is the farthest you can see, max. But anything 100 feet away from you is concealed and hard to make out.
Got it. Just in case we need to be linking each other by the
Yeah.
elbow or something. Okay.
You can still mostly see each other around you without too much issue. As you guys begin traveling down through the woods, though, let's see who's got the highest perception in the party. I believe that is Kuromori.
Yeah, I have 7.
Out of the corner of your eye in the tree line, Kuromori, you see movement.
I raise my hand to stop everyone. It's movement.
Rook's head, like, occasionally
Draw my
pops out.
sword again.
I stop and ready my bow again.
What are you guys stopping for? There's nothing there.
Oh,
I thought I saw something.
are you sure?
Point.
Did it look like breakfast?
Something to see if he actually did see movement.
Give me a perception check.
Blind?
Blind, yes. Yeah, perception checks are 99% of the time going to be blinded. Gee, I wonder what you rolled. We'll never know.
It's a
It could
mystery.
be anything.
Yeah, I'm trying to seek out what I saw there.
You definitely thought
There
you
are
saw
substance.
something. But you're looking in the direction you saw it, right?
Mhm.
At that moment, you think you see movement further ahead down the path out of the corner of your eye.
Maybe the fog is playing tricks on us. We should, I don't know. I guess be ready, but I don't think we should linger.
No, let's keep moving.
I'll make sure that I'm moving with my sword out now.
Yeah.
Just
Weapons.
don't poke anyone you're not seeing.
Weapons ready.
Sai and
Yep.
Bias, the two of you also don't seem to see anything, but Sai, when Kuromori's head kind of jerks back towards the path, out of the corner of your eye, you also catch what looks to be something moving very rapidly off the path into the undergrowth out of the corner of your eyes.
I
I
see
saw
it.
something too.
I saw it. Let's keep walking, but everyone kind of prepare.
You just challenge them.
Let's try to get to the village first before we willingly go into a fight.
Fair enough.
I agree.
Rook is already, like, keeping his head below the mist as much as he can. Trying to stay out of sight. But then occasionally bumping into people because he can't really see that well.
What sort of order are you guys traveling? you guys wouldn't mind positioning your tokens around the order you think you would be in, sort of front up here. Your best
Well,
position yourselves.
I would probably. Oh, sorry. I would probably be near the front just because I think I'm the one of the beefier members of the party.
And I'll be kind of near Buckthorn as I did set him down and kind of be walking with him.
So it kind of depends. Where are you putting the traps?
Yes.
Science
to your left
probably
and in front of you.
and probably at the very back of the lineup, just looking behind us, while others are kind of looking forward.
Okay. The path is wide enough. You guys could walk two abreast if you wished.
I'm walking right beside Buckthorn.
Oh, then I'll be here beside Tsai.
Okay.
Nothing bad ever happens from the back, so I'll just stay back here.
You sweet summer child.
Oh, you left her familiar.
Nope.
Oh yeah, I love mine too. We can't be having that.
So if you want, when you're moving them around and you want to drag both of them, if you drag select, you should be able to select both of them. Like if you drag the box.
Ah, okay.
Yes. Continue making your way down towards town. The trees gradually beginning to recede fully out of sight as the game trail makes its way down towards the actual walking path alongside the river. You guys can hear the chuckling of the river itself alongside you. It takes roughly 40 minutes or so to make it back towards the path itself. And by this time, those of you still injured have noticed that the blood pumping out of your wounds seems to have slowed. Enough that you don't think there will likely be any more interference with healing yourselves.
Well, if it took 40 minutes, I'll make a couple more
you could
berries
absolutely
for
make
guys.
enough berries to heal those of you who are still injured up to full.
Cool. So just guys and myself, we're back to full.
Yeah, just pump your health up back to max. But you guys make your way back to Willowshore. I realize that the token positioning is not what you guys just did, but simply
It's close enough.
Don't question me. So you guys find yourself a bit further south down the path, but my map only goes so far, heading up towards the town. You can see through the mist the river on the to the left of you, and up far ahead in the distance. Hard to make out from this distance, but you think you can see the outline of the bridge that leads over the Douay River back towards South Bank.
Is the mist seem to extend, like, I don't know how wide these rivers are, like, actually, but does it seem to extend all the way over here, or can I not tell from the distance?
You can't see that far. You can only see about 500 feet in front of you. You can see to the far bank from where you are, because the river is only about 200 feet wide.
Gotcha.
And yeah, the fog definitely seems to progress to that other side, because it really is more of a fog than a mist at this point. Blood red surrounding you, dyeing everything sort of in a world of crimson.
Yeah, I think getting back to town's a good idea. Just make sure everyone's all right.
Actually, do I get the sense that you mentioned earlier, Jericho, that the blood doesn't seem proportionate to the redness of the fog? Do I get the sense that it's because other people or creatures were hurt as well?
Potentially.
That was my suspicion. That's why I was like, we need to get back to town, because I think the town itself has been attacked.
Yep.
Let's get to the bridge.
Who, if anyone, is still searching and would like to give me a perception check?
I am continuing the search action.
Fantastic.
Search.
Would we be able to see the village itself from where we're at?
From where you are, no.
Okay.
Yeah. If you guys do the measuring tool, you can actually measure the math is pretty accurate on this map for actual long feet wise. So You can
Nice.
measure sort of from your token and note that you can only see maximum, like hard cap, 500 feet in front of you, but anything past 100 is concealed, and it grows more and more concealed from there. So,
I'm gonna do the seek because that's the only one I can roll. I don't have the search on my
yep, that's
macro.
perfect. Yeah, I don't know why search is missing from the macro. Seek is perfect to do.
I'm gonna do repeat a spell.
Sure.
Shield.
Okay.
Or glass shield.
Okay. Ooh, glass shield. That's a fun
Do I
variation.
need to drag that onto my character?
If you would like to.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I see why search is not on the basic action macros, because you're just continuously using the seek action. So,
Okay.
those of
Yeah,
you who would
fair
like to just use seek from the basic action macros. It's a bit annoying that it doesn't put it in the,
exploration as like a
Yeah.
separate thing, but yeah.
it's a bit silly.
There it is.
Okay. As you guys begin making your way, you guys all sort of make your way up to the bridge without any issue. As you begin to approach it, Rook, you hear a voice from the fog behind you. Rook, come play.
Rook is gonna. Who's closest to him? Sai. He's gonna quickly reach up and like smack Sai's leg a couple times and say, "Rook hears voice from behind."
Did I hear it too, or no?
Nope.
I didn't hear anything.
Curious.
Looked
Did it
nervously
sound?
at the fog?
Was it like a familiar voice, or just like it was too indistinct to tell?
Felt familiar, but at the same time, not any voice you recognized.
Rook does not like being followed.
At this point, Jericho, I don't want to meta this, but do we know about the 8 practices?
Oh, of course you guys know about the 8 practices. That is
So I'll
common
just
knowledge in Willowshore.
remind Rock. Um, uh, during this time, remember the 8 practices. There's like someone calls your name from behind you. Do not turn around.
But they want to play. Of course, Rook's not going to turn around.
Yeah, just ignore it, Rock.
But just in case, you should probably remind the Rook of the other 7 practices as we go.
You guys have...
And I
Sorry, go ahead.
will just kind of mumble the other 7 practices.
Fair enough. You guys have officially passed my "Did you read the 8 practices?" check. Granted, the last part of that 8th practice, if you hear someone call your name from behind, don't turn around. If you're following the practices to the letter, only applies at night. So
That's right.
theoretically, if you hear someone call your name from behind during the day, you're all good to turn around.
Theoretically, but you know what? Nah.
Let's just say I conveniently forgot that part.
Better safe than sorry, right?
Yep.
Other practices include don't call a ghost. Instead, address them with friendly greetings if you must. Do not pat people on the head or shoulders. So Rook's failing that already, I think.
I patted his leg.
Okay, fair enough. Avoid entering bodies of water when a ghost is nearby. Any of y'all want to swim over the Dewey, or instead of, just crossing the bridge like losers?
No.
I'm gonna cross the bridge.
Cowards. Don't eat food that has 2 stick-like objects protruding from it. I really want to know the history behind that practice. That seems like such a specific one.
How do you eat with chopsticks?
Don't stick the chopsticks into the food, I suppose.
Yeah, I guess.
Do not lean against walls during the day. That one feels important. Do not whistle at night. And do not leave the laundry out at night.
Oh, we're gonna die.
We're dying. We're gonna forget this.
Oh, 100%. I mean, I'm for sure gonna break one of these at some point.
Yep.
And
I
I'm so
have the
excited
rules
for when
up
you
on one
do.
of my 3 monitors right now so that I don't forget them.
At some
look-
point,
It's
I'm gonna ask, was that a ghost? Just-
It probably was.
I'm
I
probably gonna
recited, like,
randomly lean
half
on
of them.
something.
I recited like 2 or 3 of them, and I was like, "Oh, I'm muted." I'm smart.
All right.
right.
As you guys sort of are having this discussion, progressing towards the bridge, reminding each other of the 8 practices, Rook, you hear behind you, "Sure you don't want to come play with me?"
Rook kind of like half shouts, as he's just walking along. Rook wants breakfast.
That's fair, you guys still haven't eaten yet, I suppose. That's unfortunate.
Rook was made promises before he was kidnapped.
That's
Well,
fair.
You guys are free to cross the bridge without any issues. You think.
Awesome.
I was expecting a bridge encounter.
I will stop halfway on the bridge.
The perfect place for me to collapse it underneath you. How grateful I am.
I don't know if he's joking or not.
I'm waiting to see if you die.
Would you do me a favor?
Depends on the favor.
Don't roll anything. You're free to cross the bridge the rest of the way. It's all safe.
Okay.
Everyone's so careful.
After you get to the other side of the bridge, though,
Uh-oh.
guys and Kuromori, based off of your guys' perception checks from earlier, getting to the other side of the bridge, you do notice something out of the ordinary. Leading from the water down the path towards town appear to be deep furrows in the ground.
Furrows?
Yeah, like
Like what they do in farmland when they till it, like the grooves
Right.
in the dirt.
yeah, like if something heavy was dragged through the dirt,
Right, okay.
sort of in
That's
a
what I
bunch
thought.
of small bursts.
And this is in the path?
Yep, it leads from the water's edge onto the path towards town.
Oh, from the water's edge.
Mm-hmm.
Like it is
If I
It-
move tokens
What?
slightly, it sort of
Closer to
comes
the water?
from here onto the path and then follows the path.
Are the
Can you-
furrows near the water have is it closer to mud? Like it came
No.
from the water?
The ground closest to the water is completely dry.
And who
Would,
Make
noticed
haste.
it?
Sorry.
would I be able to roll like survival to see like if it's going into the water?
I think actually based off of that question asking if there was water in the tracks near the water's edge, all of you would probably be able to tell it's more likely that it's not something coming out of the water heading towards town, but something going into the water from town.
Interesting.
That was a good question to ask. 3 cheers for that.
What, like, how big? Like the bottom of a boat, or like?
Not that big, and it's not like one long continuous furrow. It's a bunch of smaller furrows. If anyone wanted to give me a recall knowledge roll here, I would allow that to see if you have an idea of what this could be from.
I will definitely do that.
Cyan, you've got no clue. Kuromori could be anything. Rook. Yeah, definitely not anything you're aware of.
Ugh.
I think we should still go back to town.
Oh,
But
thank goodness for Gaius saving us all. That was a beautiful 2, 2, and 3, Cyan, Kuramori, and Luke.
Oh gosh.
And
Oh,
then Gaius comes in with the nat 20 to save us.
Whew.
Gaius, there's one thing off the top of your head that immediately you would think of in this sort of situation as being able to cause this. That would actually come from pretty close by, and that's the spider gate, the large stone spider that sits there watching over town, affectionately called Ugly Cute by everyone. If somehow it had gotten up and moved, these furrows could very much be like the tracks it would leave.
well,
May have been the gate.
what?
Huh?
you mean
Okay.
the spider?
Yes.
But it's made of stone. I mean, it's right there. We should just go look to see if it's there. Then.
For those of you wondering, Ugly Cute looks like this. And is about the size of a horse.
Okay. That is fairly large.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that is the guardian statue of the town.
The Guardian said, "Fuck that," and left.
Well,
He heard the centipedes calling for flesh and was like, "Yeah, I'm out."
Not today.
What's it designed to move?
too spooky for me. And went into the water.
Let's go check it.
Yeah.
It could
Yes.
not have possibly moved.
But like it walked away, not dragged away.
Was it
While
just-
they're checking the statue, is there any way for me to go closer to the furrows and detect magic?
Yeah, you can absolutely sort of ping detect magic as you're walking. Here's a question for you. At this point, are you certain enough that the fog is magical that you could ignore it from your detect magic?
I mean, if that's possible.
Yeah, detect magic allows you to not detect any magic that you are aware of. You can choose to ignore it when you cast the spell. So
Yeah,
if
I
you
would try and
like
block
to
that.
Ignore that.
If possible, yeah.
Yeah. If you are ignoring that, you will not sense any magic that you are unaware of.
Interesting. The Rook is confused.
All right, let's go check on this statue.
What statue? There's nothing there.
No.
There's
The Rook
the,
is slightly less confused.
Well,
There's-
I'm confused about a new thing.
There's the shrine. The entrance lantern that stands behind it is on the grass lying down, completely extinguished. Used to be held in Ugly Cute's fangs, but it's just on the ground, and Ugly Cute is gone.
And
Does the building look dilapidated at all or worn?
No, it actually looks to be in quite good condition. And you don't notice immediately any signs of like chiseling or damage to the rock that Ugly Cute once perched on.
does it look like there's anything else missing as far as I recall from this spider gate?
Give me a perception check. Blind, please. We'll just, in
Gotcha.
general, when I ask for a perception check, we'll assume I'm asking for it blind. So if I say public after a perception check, you can do that.
Yep.
How frequently would you say you visited Ugly Cute's shrine?
Probably not very frequent.
Yeah, it doesn't look like anything else missing to you. I mean, the spider's gone. Oops. How could the town lose a spider at this point in time? Like, come on.
Did the Ugly Cute itself, like, was it a mechanical contraption, or is it just like stone and timber?
Full stone, full solid stone, not even timber, just big hunk of rock. But as far as you all are aware, it is a guardian spirit that inhabits Ugly Cute's corporeal form, a spirit that is obligated and wishes to watch over the town.
It's the
And
guard.
is that superstition or something that we really believe in?
How do any of you ever come visit Ugly Cute on a semi-frequent basis?
Is
Buckthorn probably would, because he likes to run around. Like he goes to the tea farm, but he likes to walk around the edges of town a lot, just being what he is. He likes to check on the forest on the edges of town.
Okay.
is it one of a local like spirit, or would it be tied to, like Pharasma, for example?
It's less a spirit. It's probably more a local spirit, as far as you're aware.
Okay, then I wouldn't have frequented it
Okay.
hardly at all.
I think Kuramori, as he like when he trained with his father for the guard, he might have done patrols from time to time.
Mhm.
So I imagine they might have come out this way once or twice in a while. Also, I would like to at least leave there's like a stone pad where Ugly Cute was, right?
Absolutely.
So I think I would like to put the lantern back, upright and light it again.
Do you have any
Even
oil
if
to light it?
it's no.
How do you want to light it? I guess you could throw buckthorn inside of it.
Well, I have flipped steel.
I can put some wood in it. I can make some wood appear in it that you.
That would light it. It probably would not continuously burn it. This is specifically an oil lantern.
Yeah.
So
Is the oil all spilled out of it then?
yeah, there's no oil remaining in it. It's not
Then
burning.
I'll leave a light in it for now.
Okay.
Test
Most
light
of
on
you
it.
would probably understand Ugly Cute as most people in town sort of assume it houses a guardian spirit and respect Ugly Cute accordingly. Buckthorn, you specifically, as one of the few people who actually comes over and frequents Ugly Cute's shrine on your travels, would have actually had the chance to speak with it on a few occasions.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, Buckthorn's like, well, I mean, it is a real spirit, but if it left, that's really bad. It's supposed to be a guardian. I don't know what the implications of that are, but if it just left the town and went into the river, we should really get back to town and see if everyone's all right.
Rook's gonna
Agreed.
grumble something about maybe it went to find breakfast, but he kind of just tags along.
Speaking of breakfast,
Mhm.
what about Choi? Is that his name? The guy that was bringing us breakfast?
Yep.
He would have been.
He would have been in the
going-
forest when this all started, north of us.
Yeah, but the only bridges is way further into town anyway, so we have to go
Yeah.
that way.
Yeah, the only bridges in town, there's the Dawnstep Bridge, and then there's, theoretically, you could cross the dam as well. You really wanted to. But
So-
Dawnstep otherwise is the only actual bridge that will get you to Northside without taking a boat.
So I think we should just head to the bridge. And then if we want to check on him, we could go all the way across. Unless you want to send that bird of yours, and I point at Rook.
Is not bird. Is incredible contraption. Would blow mind. Won't bother trying to explain goblin mechanics, but is not bird.
Well, then I say we hurry to the bridge. At least we'll get to see the interior of the town.
Yeah,
let's go.
I kind of want to see the establishments here and see what's going on. So let's head further in.
I hope MSG is safe.
Rook will point down the road and say, Rook's house on this main road, along with Clan. Can find information there, most likely.
Oh, that's good. So you're closest. Let's head over there.
I'm on the other side next to the dam. I do need to get my armor if we are to fight more.
That's a good stop then. It's one nice thing about the kineticist is it's kind of like the monk in that regard. Like, I mean, it would be nice to have some more of my stuff, but honestly, I don't really need it.
Yeah, it would be good to come back. I don't know what's happening here, but I have some stuff in my home too that I could use.
But let's just hurry to town, and I guess we'll start walking that way. Do you want us to move our tokens, or are we just going to theater of the mind it?
You can begin moving your tokens. Try to do it in like short bursts so I can sort of force stop movement when I want you guys to for anything that happens.
All right.
Why would anything happen?
So those fields across the water, they're within visual range, even with the fog, right?
Yes.
Anything
Eh.
weird going on over there?
A perception check. It is concealed, so it's not an easy sight, but you can see sort of towards them.
Okay.
Going in on that perception.
Yes, please.
Same.
Yeah, if
Oh,
anyone
right.
wants to take a look, can.
I'm always loving perception checks.
Ooh, that's an interesting one. It's
Okay, not sure what happened there.
It's hard to tell because everything is sort of dyed a bit red right now, but from what you can tell, everything looks fine.
Okay.
Cyan, you're the only one who catches what looks to be the crops sort of rustling as if something is running or some things are running through them.
I point this out. The crops. There's something again in there.
I guess maybe this would be a hunting lore check. Would it be normal for there to be critters moving around in them big enough to make rustles like that?
Critters moving around in them, yes. Big enough to make rustles visible from this far away, especially in the fog, no.
That's not normal then. We should hurry.
We've been noticing the odd movements the whole time.
Yeah. And Rock, let us know when your house is near.
Is a little bit further down.
Great thing about saying you guys are noticing odd movements is you never know if I'm telling the truth or not. It's so fun. And that's where we're going to stop your movement as you guys approach what is the Eastern Guard Tower from town. And as you guys approach, interestingly enough, though, you're fairly certain this fog is sort of filled, or at least combined with blood of some sort, or at least the essence of it. The smell of blood has not been present up until now. Until you begin to approach the guard tower. Then that potentially familiar tang of blood sort of fills your nostrils. And near the base of the watchtower, all of you can see 4 corpses sprawled on the ground.
Okay, that answers the question I was about to ask.
Do we know who these people? I mean, we know who they are. Are they like just guards, or
Looking at it from a distance, 2 of them are wearing the uniform of guards. The other 2 are different. And I should say, from what you can see, the guards look like their legs are swollen pretty heavily, and they have expressions of agony frozen on their faces. The other 2 corpses look to be these tiny creatures. Blue-gray flesh, humanoid, but giant pointed ears and extremely sharp teeth. You can see multiple sword cuts in them, but no blood stains the ground around them.
do I know what kind of creature it is, or do we?
Give me a recall knowledge check.
I'll do the same.
I will in just a moment. My sheet apparently broke.
Uh-oh. That's
So
not good.
I'm gonna reload.
Sure.
Is that recall knowledge something we can all do if we're trying to figure it out?
Absolutely. Yeah, anyone can do that.
And do you have a photo of the creature? There you go.
I mean, I do.
There we go.
Do I want to share it with you?
I'm sure he will in about 2 minutes when we get destroyed.
Oh,
Gremlins. I don't know about those.
At
There
a
we
glance, Gaius, you're actually the only person to recognize these things. These are Jenkins, a type of gremlin, to be precise. Small little fey creatures, typically a type of sort of sadistic tinkerer. They like to steal, sabotage items, they curse precious objects pretty frequently, and tend to hold very long grudges.
This is standing or one of the bodies?
These are the corpses.
There's 2 guard corpses and 2 corpses of Jenkins.
Yes.
mhm.
These creatures are a gremlin that likes to ruin things for others. They are not good for us.
Ugly, not handsome like Goblin.
Yeah.
If you say so.
But is it normal for the? I mean, I don't know. This doesn't feel normal for town. We should. I mean, that's 2 dead guys.
They
Um,
got into scuffle, I guess.
Does Kuramori recognize him? Probably would.
You probably recognize the guards. Do I have names for them? No. You
That's
probably
okay.
recognize them.
Does it look like that the guards were slain by those gremlins, like they had a conflict,
Give me a medicine
or
check.
Ooh, I don't have that.
This does not need to be private. This can be public.
I can do the medicine check.
Would I be able to roll that untrained?
Yeah, you can check it untrained. It's just gonna be rough.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it too.
Let's
Curious.
examine it together.
Yep.
Oh, Kuramori, these guys are your friends. You're certain you've got to get to the bottom of this.
Yep.
Gaius, surprisingly enough, you're able to recognize it too. Yeah. Cyan, you definitely recognize it. The Jenkins, definitely slain by sword wounds. There are multiple deep cuts across their corpses, but no blood nearby. The guards, however, you actually notice small bite marks on their legs, and Cyan and Kuramori, the 2 of you especially, recognize the signs of poisoning, most likely from snake bites.
Snakes. Might have to be snakes.
And I'm guessing this is why their legs were swollen as well.
Yes,
Yeah.
that would be
Snakes. You're right, guys. Kuramori.
Well, what snakes? Just after the fight or before? This is what is going on?
That's true. The Jenkins were hurt by swords, but the guards were hurt by snakes. Not Jenkins.
I take a moment. Kuramori takes a moment to say a prayer. It's like, may the prince guide your souls to the graveyard.
The
I will
bites were on the
also be
leg.
saying that as well.
Yeah. Let's hurry, because who knows what else is going on. The guards are dead. What about the people?
Great. Oh,
As you guys begin potentially moving on, you hear a voice from the watchtower. Don't go any further.
Hello? Who is it?
Stay back. You're kind of unwelcome in town.
But we're from the town.
We live here.
You can see like a crossbow up, kind of propped on the edge and pointed down at you guys, loaded.
How about we try to resolve this without setting that up? We are just as confused as you. What would I be able to roll, like diplomacy or like what was it?
Yeah, that would fall under the make an impression roll.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to find.
It does take a couple minutes to do that. It's not necessarily a quick sort of thing. It takes at least a minute of talking to do that. But I'll still allow the diplomacy roll as like an instant sort of calm down, don't shoot immediately, let's talk this out.
I'd like to try and make an 8 on that.
Sure. Absolutely.
So close to that 20.
Well, that'll give you a +1 on that for 16. The crossbow kind of like dips for a moment before sort of angling up away from you all. Prove it. If you're from town, you know our beliefs.
What, you mean the 8 practices?
Recite them.
Do not call a ghost a ghost. Do not pat people on the head or shoulders. Avoid entering any water when a ghost is nearby. Do not eat the food with 2 chopsticks protruding from it. Do not lean against walls during the day. Do not whistle when it's dark.
Right, that's enough. That's enough. I trust you. Oh. Crossbow like fully pulls back, and the hatch from the tower will open, and a figure will start descending from it. A human female dressed in the uniform of the guard. You can see like some specks of blood on her face. Kind of comes down, crossbow slung on her back at this point.
Does she look hurt?
She does not look injured.
Buckthorn will kind of like poke around from behind everybody, kind of approaches like, yeah, we were the ones that got abducted for the festival.
Right. Sorry about that, but things have been strange all night, so I have been on edge.
Yeah, Ugly Cute is gone. It looked like it walked into the river.
What has happened to the village?
Ugly Cute's gone. I don't know exactly what's going on in the village, but
What happened here?
it's above the screams. Little after midnight, those horrible little blue monsters. They came out of the woods to the south. They had serpents with them. The other 2 guards defeated them, but ended up falling soon after to the venom.
I see. And you managed to survive by climbing up.
I stayed up here and shot, and then went down to check on them afterwards. And she kind of like reaches up and touches the blood on her face, which this might be the first time she's recognizing it's there, because it is fully dried at this point. She kind of like just draws her hand away and looks horrified at it.
Is there a sense motive in this one? Or what? Oh, there it is. Would I be able to roll that, see if it seems genuine?
Sense motive? Yeah, absolutely.
I'd like to give him that sense motive too.
Yeah, go for it.
Here we already go.
Guys have absolutely been talking long enough that anyone wants to use sense motive can.
Gaius just believes, or not Gaius, but Buckthorn just believes her.
Well, I appreciate that, Buckthorn. I can't wait to ruin your happy-go-lucky nature in this story.
Yep.
Just
Yes.
the cheerful guy, just a horrible horror, like saying.
As far as all of you can tell, she seems in shock. She seems to be struggling a bit to process everything that's going on. She doesn't look like she's slept recently. There is an air of exhaustion, and she looks like someone who's on the verge of panic and is just barely keeping it together.
What's her
Guy-
name?
Gaius will walk up and like place a hand on her arm. Just like everything is gonna be fine. We're gonna make it through this.
She definitely flinches at the touch. And did one of you ask for her name? Did I hear that?
Yeah, I wonder if Amy know it because
Yeah.
I'm close with the guard.
You would actually probably recognize her. This is Hyair. Hyair Ha is her name. She is a member of the town guard. She has, she's got a husband and a daughter. Too special about her, though, just a regular. She is a member of Northridge.
Okay.
Out of
All right.
curiosity, what's this bridge called?
That one?
Yeah.
That's a great question. I don't know.
Okay.
It doesn't really have a
Yep.
name. That one's
Fair
just a
enough.
bridge.
Yeah. So Buckthorn will say, you should come with us. I mean, we woke up not, in the clearing, and he points off towards the north, where we were supposed to. We were across the bridge back there, across the river, but and we came this way. We fought some centipedes, but then nothing else. You should come with us, not stay out here.
Well, it was safe in the tower. I'd rather stay there. But how did you get on that side of the river anyways? I
We
watched
don't
you
know.
all get taken into the forest up north last night.
We have no idea. When we woke up, we were just in a clearing over there, and he points like back behind us.
Just some more strangeness going on.
And
In
like I
here.
said, it looks like Ugly Cute got up and walked into the river. There's just markings, but he's gone from the gate.
Listen, we'll get. Kimberly will speak up. Listen, we'll find Father and Zhang Peng and get you some relief as soon as possible.
Thank you.
Was the fog here when the gremlins attacked you?
No, they came before. The fog started appearing this morning. And the gremlins came to the tower in the middle of the night.
No one else came in this direction. Higher.
Not down the road or from the trees around here, no, but I've been hearing screams from town all night.
Oh, why did he bury the lead?
What?
No, if there's screams in town, we need to get into town now. Should level
Definitely.
that.
She kind of recoils slightly. I did.
I don't
Did
remember that part.
How long were the screams? Was it all through the night?
As if on cue, you hear screams.
Oh gosh. We better check them out. My uncle's there.
Clan is nearby. We should approach them quickly. Maybe we can get some help.
Yeah. Yeah, you should check on your people too, Ro.
Is on the way. They can help all of us. If anyone will know what's going on, it will be my clan.
All right.
It may be more prudent for me to get to my house. With the situation worsening, me being dressed like this is not
You're just on the
appropriate.
other. You're just on the other side of the dam, correct?
Yes. It is also closer in town. We can check.
Well, maybe we could go to Rook's place and then cross the dam.
Maybe we should arm him first. Rook would feel more comfortable if he were appropriately dressed.
Okay, then let's go. Does she look like she's coming with us or not?
She plans to stay, it seems. I'll stay here and keep an eye on things. I've got a bell I can use. I'll ring it. You should be able to hear it from most anywhere in town if you hear. So if anything else comes down the path, I'll let you know.
Okay, I guess go up and shut the door then.
Absolutely. Gaius, if you need any supplies, don't want to. They aren't going to use their armor anymore.
And you feel while wearing a dead man's garb.
Yeah, I kind of have no choice at the moment. So, time to hope one of them is as big as me or close enough.
They do
Slap
wear
that on.
chainmail, so you can just equip your regular armor here.
All right.
And Hayar will kind of disappear back up the ladder for a minute before coming back down with a small satchel of supplies. Just in case, if you're going into town, you might find these helpful. I hope you do.
Thank you. Do you have anyone here in town that you want us to check specifically?
I mean, I want to know my daughter's okay. I want to know my husband's fine. But yes.
Where's your place?
Well, they probably wouldn't be at my place. Granny Who was watching my daughter for me. She was babysitting for the night. And my house is near the Matsky estate, so that place is strong enough. Hopefully, my husband found sanctuary there.
We'll make sure that your family is safe.
Thank you.
Oh, if Granny Who's babysitting your kid, then yeah, I think they might be safer than most. Gaius, are you okay with that armor?
It's similar enough that it should provide good protection.
All right, then let's head over to Rooks then.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is anyone checking the sack she gave you guys, or are you just taking it?
I'll look at it.
Yeah, I would
Okay.
have just grabbed it. So,
Yeah.
rummage through it whenever needed. Typical thaumaturge way.
There's not a ton. There is. You would be able to know what these items are without having to try and identify them. There's a feather token that can be turned into a ladder, about 20 feet long permanently. There's a shining crossbow bolt, which will exude light for 10 minutes once it is shot, and will cause whatever it hits to shed light for that duration as well. And about a small cask of lantern oil.
Oh, here's the oil.
Yeah, I just had to give it to you after you passed Ugly Cute Shrine. Dare you go back?
No.
No.
My light spell will suffice for
Also,
now.
I do see how the lantern implement would be really good right about now.
Perhaps.
Yay, dark vision.
I have low light vision, but not dark vision.
I have low light vision as well.
Fog's
Well,
not
let's
making it dark or anything. It's simply just concealing things at a distance.
Yeah.
Let us continue. After all, townsfolk are in very much danger.
I agree.
Yeah, I hope MSG is okay.
Did the scream sound nearby, like they're nearby?
It's hard to tell, unfortunately.
Okay.
It could be close. It could be far. You're really not certain.
Oh, do they have a shield as well?
The guards. I don't believe so. No, most of them used a spear and a sword.
Rook is actually going to walk up as you're kind of looking about the armor and stuff, and he's going to hand you his buckler. If that's possible.
You can continue using that. I'll be fine without one.
It's 'cause Rook is goblin, isn't it?
No.
Rook is kidding. Rook wants his buckler anyway.
And Rook, I think you should be closer to us.
By the way, if you ever want to give items from yourself to someone else, you can quite literally drag it from your inventory onto their token, and it'll give it to them.
Oh, okay.
So, if you guys are heading from the guard tower to Rook's house, kind of following the road, it does take probably an hour and a half or so, especially if you're doing exploration actions where you're moving slower. Because it's about 3/5 of a mile or so, a little over. So it does take a bit of time to traverse, especially as you begin to see some of the buildings as you pass. Aside from the occasional scream, there is complete silence in town. Aside from the occasional creak when you pass a building and you can see a door only on one hinge swaying in a non-existent breeze. The cobblestone that makes up the streets, slick. Water, blood, you're not sure with what.
Oh, because of how red the fog is?
Wooden lanterns from the houses kind of sway, again like the door in some non-existent breeze, all of them unlit.
We face resistance getting to Rook's house.
At
And
the
as
moment, no, this is just what you're seeing as you begin making your way into the town proper.
No people, as far as we can see, aside from those dead by the eastern tower.
No living people. You see.
So we see more corpses then?
Once you start making it really into the town proper, while the crimson fog makes it hard to discern color of a lot of things, the actual splatters on the cobblestones and walls of buildings are pretty obviously blood. A few corpses lie staining the sides of the streets. A few stalls from people who were sort of getting their morning, perhaps ready to go to the markets, scattered and destroyed across the ground.
What happened?
This is not good. This is what's
Rook is going to raise his hand to signal to be quiet and to pause for a moment. He's going to whisper, "If clan face trouble, possible they may have set traps. Be mindful."
All right. You know this better than any of us, Rook.
After you.
Rook realizes that's actually true and looks really, really forlorn about that fact as he takes point.
I'll be close behind him.
So Rook, at this point, now that they're off the main street and kind of heading more towards his house, he's going to actually start like trying to sneak a little bit more.
Sure. Absolutely. Now, remind me, is Rook's house his own, or does he share it with anyone from his tribe?
So it's semi-communal. It acts as a house as well as like a shop, so it's kind of used by the
Okay.
entire community, but that's where he specifically lives.
Sure. Sure. I think I can work with that. We can even say, not that the map shows it, there's some like surrounding buildings as well. So it's almost a small community of multiple buildings. There's like a workshop and maybe a few small houses for individuals as well. Yeah, you absolutely approach it, and thankfully, at least, you don't see any corpses as you approach. No blood splatters or anything of the sort.
Can I attempt another detect magic ping, like specifically at the house?
Yeah, like when you get to the front door of it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If you don't open the front door, the detect magic won't enter the building. It is an emanation, so it is blocked by walls.
Okay, he's mostly just checking to make sure the door hasn't been warded or anything.
How dare you assume I would do something like that?
Paranoia.
Yeah, there's no magic on the door.
All right, he's gonna look behind and kind of like put his finger to his lips to like signal everyone, try and be quiet. He's gonna slowly creak the door open.
Sure. You see your house. I think at a quick glance, looks fine.
Famous last words. All right. Can I do a perception check to like do a more concentrated sweep?
I suppose. Yeah, absolutely. God, you think I'm gonna put something in your house where you have supplies?
Yes.
What
Y'all
skill?
have no faith in me. Perception, please.
Oh, that's right, perception. If he says
Good.
looks fine, one of y'all are going in first.
Everything looks good to me.
I will enter.
So how stressed would you all get if I gave you like a map specifically to look at right now?
Yeah, I mean,
Well, here we go.
Not very, but okay.
I just
mean, there
want
are
to
no-
make the experience authentic. There's
There are
nothing to
no
be scared of
violent-
here.
As long as there's no violent adjectives in the title, then
No, it's just Rook's
Just
house.
says Rook's house.
Yeah.
You can see all the spirits moving around.
Is the door open?
Rook opened it to take a look inside.
I will step inside
Okay.
if he gets out of the way.
I will happily get out of the way. Whoop, not into the wall.
There you go. There.
If you guys
There
don't
we
want to use your
go.
mouse to move your tokens, by the way, you can use the arrow keys on your keyboard.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I was just trying to get it to where like I wasn't passing through a wall.
Which is fair. It's a nice, small little abode, bit grungy. There's a whole bunch of grease everywhere. Some soot, maybe. Might be black powder. You're not entirely certain
Does
at
it
a glance.
look like anyone has been in here recently with how the soot or grease is?
Give me a perception check.
And also, don't light a match.
Yeah, definitely looks like someone has been living here.
Rook.
yeah, it is Rook's house.
Is it still quiet? Like we can't hear any noise or any sounds of life near us?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
If you're hearing bird sounds, don't question it. That's just map ambiance.
Cyan's gonna whisper to Rook. Rook, where's the rest of your tribe?
Root's gonna shake his head and say, something's wrong. Tribe should be here, or at the very least leave signs.
Right. Do you live in this house
Everything looks
together?
good.
Rook's gonna look a little defensive and say, "Why? What's wrong with the house?"
No, nothing's wrong with the house. I'm just asking where your other tribes folk are, if they're alive or dead.
Rook's gonna shrug and say, "I know as much as you. They dwell in the abodes around us, but upon our approach, we should have been contacted. The only reason they would ignore us is if they are dead or something has pulled them away."
Perhaps they've taken refuge at the barracks or the mansion.
Is possible. But they would have left sign for Rook. At least something to tell them that they had gone.
Hmm.
I see. And what time of the day was it, Jericho?
At this point, it's a little past 10 in the morning. You guys woke up right around 6, so it's been a little over 4 hours since you woke up.
Got it.
We should check the other homes. We need to see if anyone else's families are here.
First and foremost, I'm going to need everyone to roll initiative for me.
Oh!
But row.
No, Rook is already gone. Run. Is this initiative what we're doing, or is this initiative with which
Perception, please, for everyone. That is the base initiative roll.
Okay.
Oh, perception. Got it.
Yes. But as you guys roll perception, as you come into the building, Sai and Gaius kind of taking a look around, stepping a bit further in, the two of you notice entirely different things. Sai, you notice that some of the shelves and cabinets up against the wall begin to rattle ever so slightly. While Gaius, you begin to hear what sounds like dozens of tiny, squeaky voices coming from under the bed. And as everyone has rolled initiative and things look like they might be about to happen, that's where we're going to end our session for tonight.
Ooh, cliffhanger.
Thank you guys
Plans
so
hide
much for
underneath the
showing
bed.
up.
Yeah, absolutely.
I truly hope you guys enjoyed the first session of this campaign.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was
Very
great.
much.
Awesome. Well, things will not get better from here. I can promise that. They'll only get worse.
Yep.
And I'll see you all next week. Have a good one.
Yeah.
Take care, guys.
Thank you. Take care,
Yeah.
everyone.